join us for a chat so we can talk about AI search, as it's a ever evolving, topic, and there's new stuff coming out every day. So we just want to get a bit of a dump of information from Jane. We can ask a few questions and go back and forth and really dive into the topic.
My favourite subject at the minute as well, and it is changing daily.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few notes in front of me just to kind of make sure that we do cover quite a bit here. So how is AI search replacing traditional Google search?
It's kind of being built upon it. We don't really know what's going to happen in the future. Some people say that Google's AI mode will replace traditional Google. Things are changing quickly at the minute, though, and Google is still very much the main source of search. But what we're finding is that, like your AI overviews and your Google AI mode, they're answering the questions that people are typing in. So the clicks going through to the website have dropped. I think something like 50% of website clicks have dropped because the answer is appearing in AI overviews or AI mode. So Google is changing. It's keeping up with, or not as much keeping up with, but it's working alongside how other LLMs work, like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. People are going in, getting the answers from those and not actually clicking through to websites the same as what they were.
Okay. And so I guess there's kind of a risk there of people not going through to websites, not finding the web pages themselves, but actually that we can still kind of appear as a business through those kind of AI searches and excerpts and whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people, there's no less revenue being driven. People are suddenly not buying things just because they get their answer from AI search. They still want to go in and buy what they need, find out what they need, but they're getting that information first before they then go onto your website. So you may be finding that you get more direct traffic because they'll get the information from the AI search, and then they'll actually, get all that information, see that you've been mentioned in the AI overviews or in Google AI mode, and then they might actually just type your brand in directly onto Google. What's also happening is AI or LLMs are changing, and it's becoming more agentic, and the process of actually buying things might happen through LLMs. So I think ChatGPT recently have pulled back from putting their investment into that at the moment, but that's not to say that won't happen again in the future. Yeah. So your agentic optimization is something that we really focus on as well. So yes, it's a big, deep topic.
Yeah, because I guess for the last however many years since kind of Google and rankings came about, there's always been the kind of how do we get to the top of Google? Yeah. How do we rank first? How do we come up for this key term, that key term? So I guess if we're trying to appear in AI search, has the strategy changed? Are there differences within how you, particularly, I know you obviously write so much content and so does your team. So has that kind of changed over the last couple of years?
Massively, particularly over the last 12 months. So we still optimize for keywords. We still want to get to the top of Google because that's something that AI looks at as well. So this is a kind of like a big question. So I'll try and keep it back to the keywords. So yes, we still optimize for keywords. Yes, we still try to get at the top of Google. But when we're talking about AI, we're talking more about problem statements. So if you think about when you're traditionally searching in Google, you might type in running shoes. That seems to be the analogy everybody uses. You might type in running shoes, and then it brings up all these websites. Then you go through the websites and see what you want, and it brings up the best optimized pages for running shoes. If you're going on to an LLM such as ChatGPT, which at the minute is probably the most one that people know the most, people won't just type in running shoes. They'll say, I'm a middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
I've just broken my ankle. I'm getting back into running, and what's the best type of shoes for me? And they're much longer. I think on average they're at least 10 words long, whereas before it may be just 1 or 2 words, your keywords. So yes, we still definitely optimize for keywords because the knowledge graph that AI has, it's built from the World Wide Web. That's where it's got its information from. So you need to make sure that your information is in that knowledge graph. So yes, we do still need to optimize for Google, with keywords, but it's slightly different again for when you're thinking about the AI search. You're thinking more about your problem statements.
Okay, cool. And so obviously I understand that search is changing. People are kind of typing their problems differently. How do we pick up on if I've got a problem in my scenario, or if someone else has got a problem in their scenario? Like, I guess does persona come into the equation? And if I'm a middle-aged man or a young girl, does it kind of shift how we are approaching that coming up?
Yeah, we definitely build those personas into your website. So it's something that I'm looking at for a particular client at the moment. I've actually half an hour ago was writing a complete page for a specific persona. So yeah, we definitely target personas and their particular pain points. So the content on a website now has to be far less generic. It's something that I'm very passionate about anyway. You know, your filler content, your generic content, the kind of content that anybody could write is not the kind of thing that you want on your website. You want something very, very specific to that person. So we have to go very deep onto topics now. It's not your top level stuff. We might, how we build out our landing pages, very specific. How we built out our article pages, very specific. So talking about a blog page, you'll have, we work with topic clusters. So we'll get a pillar page, and from that we will then cascade down with all the extra information on it. So you're answering the questions in a very, very deep way. So you are the person that AI finds trustworthy because they're looking at you and seeing that you've got all that information.
Okay. So, because I guess the question is always, how do we appear first and fastest?
Yes.
So in the past, when it comes to SEO, there's been a lot of kind of strategies to not trick the system, but, definitely get yourself there as quick as possible. But what it sounds like is that with AI content appearing in AI search, we are actually just serving the user better. So I assume that companies are kind of enjoying the content more. It's a lot less keyword stuffing and actually natural conversational information as well.
Yeah, and absolutely spot on. I mean, talking a long time ago, you'd get a white page and you'd get white text on it of just the keywords, and Google would see all those keywords on your page and think they know what they're doing. That is your really old-fashioned, black hat SEO.
Yeah.
And I think AI search, just for me as content director, absolutely vilifies everything that I've ever stood for. Because for me, content's got to be helpful. It's got to show your expertise, your experience, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness. And by writing that really genuine, specific content, that's the kind of thing that the AI really, really needs. It needs to trust you. So the content on your website needs to be highly trustworthy, but we also need to get the signals from other people's websites that our content is particularly trustworthy. So if we can build natural backlinks to our website, that is a sign to AI that we are very authoritative. The way AI works, it does a query fan out. So it will take the problem statement that you've got, and then something like Perplexity is particularly good because that actually shows you the kind of questions that it's sending out.
Okay, yeah.
And those are the kind of questions that you need to answer, all of them within your website. If you've got all those answers, then you are, the trustworthy answer to AI search.
Nice. Okay. And how do you know what people are searching for within a particular, if I our business and I've come to the pod for AI search, how do you know what my customers might be searching?
There's lots of ways we find out, but one of the really important things is to really get to know your customer very, very well. We need to be the expert voice for their expert knowledge. So the kind of client that we work with who really wants to work closely with us is the best kind of situation, the best scenario, because when we first get on board with a client, we'll make sure that we know as much as possible about them. If we talk to their sales team, what are the kind of questions that are being asked? We have specific software as well that helps us work out the kind of questions that the people in those kind of genres or whatever are asking. So it takes a lot of research. There's lots of tools that we use, but that genuine relationship with our client and understanding their pain points, the kind of things that they want is key to all of it.
Do you think that with AI search, SEO is kind of dying, or do you think it's
No. Do you know, it's funny because I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn and I see, obviously, the people I'm interacting with, it's a lot about SEO. And over the years, every so often you'll get the SEO is dying. And again, it's kind of talking about it again, but absolutely not. This cannot be done. AI search cannot be done unless it's on a strong foundation of technical SEO. So unless your website is working well, it's fast, it's got good user experience, good user design, an AI will go onto your website, and if it's not crisp, clear, really understandable, quick to use, it jumps straight back off. It hasn't got the patience of a human. So your website must be SEO optimized. So this has to be done on a really strong foundation of traditional technical SEO.
okay? That explains a lot, because I assume, yeah, you're not going to be able to just appear. You do need to have that foundation for sure. So now thinking about digital marketing as a whole, we obviously know that there was a relationship between PPC, SEO, but what about social? How does that kind of come into AI search? Because there has been, that short form content is kind of what everyone's driven to when they open their phones, but kind of how does that change when it comes to long form content and how it then appears in AI search?
Both incredibly important. But AI will look to platforms like Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube. It will look to things like that to get that information and that trustworthiness. So if you're being mentioned in LinkedIn, if you're being mentioned in YouTube, and there's links back to the client or to ourselves, that all shows the authority. They work really, really much in tandem. So again, it's all about brand. It's all about making sure your brand's out there. People are talking about you. So you've got your three pillars really of AI search. You've got your long form content. You've got your website with all the information on there about yourself. Then you've got your brand. So what everybody else is saying about you. So social media, what's on YouTube, what's on Reddit, what's on LinkedIn. And then you've got your kind of like your digital PR, your people who are backlinking to you, so other websites that are backlinking to you. So, and then your technical, you've got your technical SEO. So you've got your technical SEO, you've got what other people are saying about you, and you've got your own content. So social media is incredibly important.
The social media, when it comes to long form and short form, yes, there's long form and short form written, but does AI search also source long and short form video in a similar way? And if so, does it favor one over the other?
I don't know if it favours one or the other. It definitely sources them both. And what I will say is that we are all learning. So as much as when ChatGPT came out 3.5 years ago, I was fascinated by it, and I still am. And but every single day I'm finding out something new. So what I'm saying now is what I believe to be true now. But it's things like, you were talking before about like doing specific things that maybe were black hat SEO previously. Yeah. And you've got a lot of people within the AI world now saying you need to do this, you need to do this, and like do shortcuts. So one of the things recently has been listicles, and people are still saying listicles are really important, where like if we're talking about ourselves, we're saying we're the best at this, we're the best at this, and somebody else is, is second best, and they're third best, and they're fourth best. And that kind of thing's been cited a lot in AI. But actually,
So it's, a listicle is
like saying, like if you say who's got the best running shoes, okay, so Nike are the best one, Brooks are the second best, and it'll go through the list of who it thinks is best. So, but as far as I've heard recently, again, Google is digging down on that and saying, actually, if you're self-promoting yourself as being the best in a listicle, it's penalising that. So again, some people are still saying listicles are really important, but other people are still actually saying, no, Google's getting a gist on this, and your AI search getting an understanding of this, and that it's not being trustworthy. So for me, the most important thing is if you do the right thing happens to you. So if you put yourself out there on social media, if you make really good quality content that people naturally want to backlink to, that's what's going to work. So whether it cites long form or short form more, I don't know. And I'm happy to say what I don't know, because nobody 100% knows yet. There's no degree at university on how to do AI search.
Yeah.
It's something that we are learning as we go along, and being inquisitive and trying out new things, finding out what works, what doesn't work, finding out what used to work and now doesn't work. It's a case of trial and error, but we spend a lot of time focusing on it and learning about it. So we know how important social media is and how important brand is. The specifics change, I would say, almost daily at the moment.
Well, yeah.
Again, it all just comes back to, well, now we're just focusing on the quality of the content.
Quality.
Yeah. Which
Always down to the quality.
overall, it just feels like it is better for both the brand and the user.
Yeah.
So if a brand has never really thought about AI search or hasn't got the foundations yet, where are the best places to begin?
Okay, start with your own website and make sure that you are really going to in depth about who you are. So it's something I always talk about, a really good About Us page. A lot of people think, what's the point in an About Us page? I just want to sell my products. Yeah. But you've got to build up that authority and that trust. So really know who it is behind the website. If you're going to go and spend a load of money on something and you don't know the person behind the brand, how do you trust that? So really build up the content within your own website. So if you're writing a blog page or a blog, make sure there's an author behind that. That's the expert voice. And make sure that author then links onto a Meet the Team page or the About Us page. So it all links into that experience. It's the EE80, which is something that Google has talked about for a long time, showing the experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness of a website, which again is the foundational layer for your AI search as well. AI wants to drive people to people that can be trusted. So it's
okay. Yeah.
You're not going to go on ChatGPT or Claude if they keep sending you off or giving you information that's not true. You'll soon lose your, I'm not going on that, it's rubbish. I'll go on something else. And this is what happened at the beginning with ChatGPT. It was telling you to put glue on your pizza and things like that. And it really took a dip. So it's very important to it that it's sending the information to the reader that's something that's really, really trustworthy. So
building that kind of link between who's writing it
Yeah.
and what the brand is saying
Yeah.
kind of comes around when it comes to trying to cite that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it just knows who you are and what you're saying. Why should we believe you?
Yes.
And all of those are good signals.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So I guess do you know what does winning look like in 3 years' time, 5 years' time?
Being cited, being seen, and at the very base level, everybody needs to make money. Everybody needs to, their business needs to work. And ultimately, I don't think that will change. So, you can say, okay, I want to appear at the top of Google. I want to appear in AI overviews. I want to appear in AI mode. I want to be the first person cited in ChatGPT. Ultimately, we all need to make money and we all need to get our businesses working. And I don't think that will change. I think how people arrive at that destination it's going to be a different route, but it's still going to be that's the end game.
I think that how people want to find stuff and how people want to research does lend itself a lot more to natural language and problem
Yes.
statements and,
Yes.
and asking questions.
Yes.
Typing in, what are the best running shoes? It's such a bland question. There's not really any depth to it. Whereas when you can have a conversation with AI and it can really start to learn about you, it can better serve you.
Yeah.
If we can use our written content and socials and short form or long form, whatever it might be, to inform the AI that our website is the hub of knowledge,
Yes.
then I guess that is the best place to be.
Yeah. Again, I suppose it's a phrase I use all the time. As long as we are the expert voice for the expert knowledge. So talking about ourselves, we need to get our expert knowledge out there. Talking for our clients, we need to be the expert voice for their expert knowledge.